Was it something I said, Popeye? Tell me how you really feel. Oh my God. I've been listening to the past 20 minutes. How long has his soliloquy been since he simulcast my show? It's funny as shit. I think I hit a nerve. I hit a nerve with him. He's a very confused man because first he's saying I'm broke, but then he's saying I'm spending all this money on this and that and this and that. But how am I broke? I don't get it. Why don't you marry a woman? Well, I don't really think that's feasible at my age to go get married. And I was married once, and that was enough. Now I'm going to go spend on a fucking. No, 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 no. If we're happy the way we are, what is the problem with it? I don't really know. But I think I hit a nerve with Popeye because he's never done a, so I call it a soliloquy that long after my simulcast. That's funnier than shit. You know when you hit a nerve with Popeye because he will come on there and rant and rave for long lengths of time. I got it down to an art with him. Mentioned him once in my show and he goes berserk. Did I lie about anything about Popeye? No. He hasn't been laid in decades. Guess I hurt his feelings. Sorry, Bob. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. No, I wouldn't do that to you. Boy, the stories he comes up with me, they're pretty amazing. Maybe he should become a writer. There's not one thing he said about me that has any element of truth. And then, of course, his adopted son, Nico, comes on there. And, Nico, one of the list of biggest fucking losers on here that's in love with his grass. Has a lot to say about me. He talks tall tales about the ferry trip. Nico came there and put his hand out to me. Where's he going to kick my ass? He put his hand out to me for a handshake. That's what he did. Where's all this anger and angst and everything else? Why didn't he kick my ass if he wanted to kick my ass on that ferry? Killed the scene right through him, actually. She had nothing bad to say about his pay for date. Maria, I believe is her name. She was kind of a nice gal, but she didn't want to get involved with that. It was very clear. We heard what she said. She just doesn't want to get involved with Nico's banter. Yeah. Frisbee seemed to be digging his hole deeper. Yeah, you might say that. Popeye is so hoping that this whole scenario turns out bad for me. What's bad? Well, his idea of what's bad and good are two different things. With two different people, we think differently. I made my accomplishments. Everything I set out to do, I did. Popeye couldn't do that. He's still at home doing shows about me and simulcasting my shows. I mean, what does that say about him? Now, what was he said that really stood out to me on there? Let me think. Oh, there's a number of things that stood out. I must have hit a nerve with him. There's a few things that stood out. Oh, there's actually more than a few things. I'll try to be more specific, but there was just too many. Popeye knows he's not living the life that he would probably have liked to live. Yeah. Hello, Heminger. He got butthurt when you mentioned Fazio. Oh, do you notice that? I think they used to do Skype together. You know what I'm saying? I think you know. Yeah. Would I be surprised? No, I would never be surprised. He's got to get his action somehow, Poop Eye. Oh, yeah, you come in this state, I'm going to take care of you. You and your mobility scooter? You going to run me over or something? Alabama Waffle House. Ah, Store Patrol Bob. Oh, Shore Patrol Bob Clausen. Attorney at Blah predicted you be with the bummer by today. Well, I'm still here. What's with all Bob's predictions? I guess you're wrong, Bob. He doesn't like Bama, but in some ways he'll defend him only because he doesn't like me. That's all it really is. You know why Popeye's upset with me? The truth? Because I've caught him in so many lies, and I've talked about it on here. Because I told the truth about his situation at his age and his wife leaving him and him beating up his wife, and that's why she divorced him. He was a drunk. He was a drunk. And you've seen his temperament. And when he drinks, do you remember when Gary, the GAC, was on? And Aloe was on that time, and him and the GAC were fighting on there. Popeye was drunk as a skunk. Oh, he was. Yeah, Shore Patrol Bob. Yeah, very good description. He wonders, well, if you love this woman, who the hell said that a piece of paper is going to be the difference between you loving somebody and not? That makes absolutely no sense at all, but it's coming from Bob Clausen, who can't get a woman, hasn't had one for decades. The guy, I've come convinced of it. I listened to 20 minutes of his show, that was enough. And I come to the conclusion that he's just fucking jealous of me. That I'm actually here in the Philippines and he's not. He can't afford to be here. He made enemies here. And he could never find a woman. His attitude, his whole demeanor. He's alone in Florida in his mother Jean's house that he inherited. He'd never be able to buy that house on his own in Florida. There's no fucking way. The same as Nico. That's his mom's house. He pretends that it's his, but he gets really perturbed if that one bush, flower bush that she loves so much, she gets she gets really disturbed. She gets really perturbed when he's not taking care of it or something happens to a branch. To me, that sounds like she's the owner of that house. Nico don't own that house. No, he don't own that house. Bob Clausen's property, a used ill rascal. Miss Evans, your Popeye was calling you a pedo. He always does. You know, he said it himself. That's what a coward he really is. That's the mark of a coward. He said, I could say these things about you because I'm like umpteen thousand miles away from you. And I could say, and I'm behind a protective screen of my computer or my phone. He said it himself. Very well put, because that's the truth. He figures he could dish out all he wants about me. He seems to know my whole history. He doesn't know shit except what I talk about on here. I spent 8 years in college. No, I've had a combined about 6.5 to 7, somewhere around there. I do have a degree. Okay. What did he accomplish? Shit, I've been published. And he's never even been well traveled across the United States. He's been on a ship, might have went a couple of places. Then his career was being a security guard. Then he worked in a Walgreens for how many years? Yeah, no, not Walgreens. Excuse me, Walmart. He was a Walmart greeter. Then he got an opportunity to join the Pox department. The Pox department that he used to down me, and you all heard that, right? He used to down me for working at the Parks department. Mine was city, his was county. And it blew me away when I found out that he worked for the Parks department, that he was knocking me, saying it was a low level job and it was this and that and this and that and picking up condoms and everything else. But guess what? He worked for the Parks department. Got to say it the Boston way. The Parks. He's telling me, you're not a New Yorker. Oh, okay. Better tell my mom and dad that. I'm as New York as you could possibly get. Let's see. Clint Essen, Licky Ricky doing a live stream in 30 minutes called Let's Find Big. Oh boy. The fucking losers we have out here is just phenomenal. I love to listen to them talk, and they're talking shit about me, completely the opposite of who I am and what I've done and everything else. These people can't make the accomplishments I have. They'll never find a quality woman like I did. It'll never happen. They'll never be able to own a house like I do. And yes, I do own it actually. When you think about it, it is a 60-40 thing, but I've also got a 25-year lease and I got some other paper. I could turn around and sell this house anytime I want. I'm not going to do that. Of course, it is going to take. I do have a say in it. If I wanted to sell the house, we can make that happen. That's not the why I bought the house. I bought the house for her future, something that these people can't provide for a woman. I did it for her future. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's an ATM machine. I'm certainly not. Okay, Heminger. Frank, are you the Donald Trump Bantine with multiple towers across Bantine? No, I'm not. I say it like it is. I don't have to exaggerate and use all this hyperbole that he used on his show. He would never call me a pedo to my face, and that's a fact. He would never. I remember when Allo and other people were saying of being here, he ran and he hid for extended periods of time. He did not come on YouTube. That's a fact. And even if he's simulcasting me right now, his viewers know that as a fact. They may not admit it on his show, but he went into hiding several times. I would expect him. They're just trying to kiss up the Popeye for drama, that's all. And look at the cast of losers on there. Nico, can't get a bigger loser than that. Well, you could, and we do have. Yeah. Heminger says Popeye is scared of Alaho. I know he is. Yeah, yeah. He's Alo's hostage. In a way, you might be right on that. Yeah. Oh, he's fearful. When Aloe turns on Popeye, Popeye runs away. You won't hear from him. When who was the guy that was going to go after Popeye? And then there's a couple of people besides when Aloe was pissed at him. There was some other guy that was going after Popeye, and Popeye got scared, and you didn't hear hide nor hair of him at least 6 months to a year. I remember that. Then when he was drinking like a fool and he was arguing with the Gary, the Philippines Experience, that was a funny show. You should have heard him. He was definitely drunk. See, people hide their life and they want to try to exemplify with so-called, the great living situations that they have. But the truth is, it's completely the opposite. He's living in a house that his mother owned. He couldn't afford to buy it on his own. He admits he worked for the parks department. It's a respectable job. Nothing wrong with that. He worked for it. And I don't knock him for that, except that he was making a big joke of that when I'd worked for the parks department. Then we found out later on that he indeed worked for a parks department. Burn. Yeah. These people are pretty sad. Oh, he's talking about it's just the kind of guy that's trying to dig up, just like Digger. Any fault he could find on me, but he'll just exaggerate what he talks about bankruptcy. Just I had some bankruptcy. I absolutely did. Guess what? A half a year into a bankruptcy, I bought my first house in Seattle. How did I do that? How did I do that, Popeye? Come on, you know everything about me. How did I do that? I bought a nice three-bedroom house with an insert fireplace, hardwood oak floors, two floors, in a very nice section of North Seattle. That's right. On a cul-de-sac, dead end cul-de-sac, beautiful evergreen trees around me, nice front yard and backyard. Yeah, I had bankruptcy. So what? It's available. He's so pro-America, he should not be saying anything about bankruptcies because how do we know he hasn't had one? Number one. Number two, he likes to go by the American privileges. He talks about a lot. Well, it's a privilege to do a bankruptcy if you need to bail out of something and regroup yourself. That's what it's for. Big companies do it left and right. Medical doctors have done that in the past. So they don't have to pay their fucking medical bills. That was wrong. It's something that the United States allows its citizens, but he makes a mockery of it. How do we know he never had a bankruptcy? It's easy for him to talk behind his protective environment, which he does all the time. Alo's hostage. You might be right on that. So the 20 minutes I heard of his show, it was just a laugh a minute. And everybody honing in, trying to satisfy Popeye, like they want to get their dick sucked by him or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. They're talking about what, feeling sorry for Barry or something? Were they hinting toward that? Popeye admits that Barry is where he belongs. So make up your mind. They're wishing so much bad on me. But my history of being on YouTube and these people knowing anything about me at all has proved to the years that everything they tried to do to me did not come out. They ate so much crow. I told you, crow is becoming extinct because of that. I've only have so many plates to serve around too. I'd have to buy more plates. They've eaten crow so many times, but they tried to scrub their image up after eating that crow, wipe their faces, take the feathers out of their mouth. They don't know what to say. I've seen a few of Popeye's shows recently where his little soliloquy at the end, he didn't have much to say because what I had to say on my show was very real. It was true. It pointed out things that were actually factual, and he didn't have much to say to that. But I hit a nerve. I hit a nerve. I hit a nerve with Popeye. The fact is, Popeye is living a very sad sack life. He's older than his age in many ways. He talks about my sex life or whatever they were saying. How would you know what I do in the bedroom, whether my dick can get hard? How would you know that? Have you seen me perform in a bedroom? Big experts on every facet of my life, financially, sexually, everything. They know everything. Or they think they do anyway. And I'm sitting here, and Gilda's just laughing my ass off. Well, not really laughing my ass off, but we're both snickering. Oh man, Viking son, nobody wins on me here. No matter what happens, there's always a rainbow at the end, as proven the past 10 years. They never thought I'd be able to do anything about Barry, but where's he now? Popeye, yeah, coming to my stage, see what I'm going to do to you and all this crap. Oh, shut the fuck up, Robert. You ran away from people on YouTube. Imagine if they actually came off. It was in your neighborhood in Hollywood there, in your little complex there. What would you do, Popeye? Really, what would you do? What would you do? What would you really do? You'd run and hide if that's what you do. You tell the occupants of the house that you moved to Fort Lauderdale or something. That's what you do. You remind me of that Chihuahua I always talk about with the big bark. It doesn't have any bite at all. You just want to voice your emotions and downfalls on YouTube. That's about the sum of Popeye. He never could afford to buy a house. His mother, Jean, he inherited from her. I bought this house, my own money. That's right. And whether they question whose house it is, it's her house. You're damn right. I gave it to her for her future. Could you do that, Popeye? Could any of these losers do that out there? Nah, I doubt it. Most of them, anyway. Can't discount all of them, but most of them couldn't do that. It's pure jealousy. It's living vicariously through my life because they don't have much. They're all obese, every single one of them. Popeye's got probably a big pot belly because all he does is sit around. Of course, he's got a big pot belly. He drinks alcohol. That will put the weight on. And the shit food that he eats, I'm sure he eats shit food. You're not in the mess hall on the ship, Popeye. They serve shit on these ships. Shit on a shingle, like he likes to say. No, I do eat healthy. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I think I hit a nerve. Did I hit a nerve, Robert? Tell me how you really feel, Robert. I don't think you're saying enough. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. You ain't going to do shit to me, Robert. You ain't going to do fucking shit. And why are you hiding the fact that Roberto is 6 feet under somewhere? Oh, you don't want it to look because he's a member of your crew, right? Well, the fact is, Roberto, it makes a lot of sense to me that he's gone. He's 6 feet under somewhere or cremated. It's on somebody's shelf. Because what would stop Roberto from coming on? Nothing. And they hinted. Well, Mitch said something, or Nick Fisher said something. No, he's just taking the year off. He's taking more than that. from YouTube. They're all trying to hide the fact that maybe something actually did happen to Roberto. Something happened. I can't say what, whether he's dead or something happened, divorced or something bad happened, or somebody kicked his ass or something. I don't know. Or he's crippled or debilitated somehow. But something went down. They want to hide it because they don't want me to have the satisfaction of knowing the truth about whatever happened you know, with Roberto. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna have to go here in a few minutes here. So, got anything to say? Say it. Robert, you're a fucking loser, man. Everybody recognizes you. You got people on your show. You may have a lot of people on the show, but they're just part of the train wreck crew. They want to hear Popeye making a fool out of himself and how jealous he is of my life and everything I've done. Because he has absolutely nothing. And the key point is he hasn't had a woman for God knows how many years since his divorce. Was he getting sex when he was married? He had to have one live sperm somewhere. He's got a daughter. He's got a daughter. Something went right at one point. Three tries, five tries, 10 tries, bingo. Inherits his mother's house. It's not the same as having the money to buy a house like I did. It's my house, no matter how you look at it. I even got a 25-year lease. She can't sell it under me if she wanted to, if something ever happened to me and her, which I don't predict and anticipate. That's killing Robert. It's really killing him that I'm living the life that he never had. He spent some time, he sure did, in the Philippines with the Round Table crew, getting their dick sucks under the table by some whore. That's his glory days. That's his glory days. That was it. His Walmart thing, that was embarrassing. He was a greeter at Walmart. Then he worked for the Parks Department. I don't know what came first. I think the Parks came first. Okay. And he laughs about the Parks Department, but who was working for the Parks Department after all? It was Robert Clausen. It was Robert Clausen. Boy, did he down me about working in the park. Hey, man, I don't disrespect the fact that Robert worked for the Parks Department. I never said that ever. There's nothing wrong with that job. It's an honest job. It's honest work. There's no politics involved in that job. Well, it could be personal politics with workers, but that comes with any job. It's a respectable, good job with good benefits. But before it was made known that he worked for the Parks, he sure hell's tacked to me for working for the Parks Department. Anyway, I gotta go. Okay, Robert, do yourself a favor. Don't worry about your viewers or anything else. Get yourself a real life. Go get laid, man. Go get laid. It'll do you good. It'll give you a little boost in life, make you feel like a man again. It's been 25 years since your wife dumped your ass. It's time to move on before you die. Go get laid. Get your money out of the piggy bank and go find a local whore. She might accommodate you. Or maybe she won't. I don't know. Maybe they're getting picky, huh? Maybe she'll accommodate you. Get rid of those fucking purple balls, man. And ease your drinking, Papa. It's going to age you even further than you are. We know you're a drinker. And we know you're a smoker. So you got nothing on me. You got nothing to talk about with me. Get your own woman. You can't have mine. Get your own woman. A grandma, huh? He would call her a grandma. He'd be lucky to get somebody his age in America. He'd be extremely fortunate to get a 50-year-old interested in him in America, to get anyone interested in him in America. That guy hasn't been laid so long that it's like he retired his fucking penis. It's getting mummification. All right, that's my show, man. I'm sorry I had to come on with this, and 20 minutes was enough of listening to his show. It was the same over anyway. The same losers cheering him on. What a great guy he is. And Nico. God, Nico. Nico, man, you can't afford to talk about anything. I mean, you truly, truly cannot talk about anything